Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about Week 10's live double eviction episode of Big Brother 27. Last time on Big Brother, Vince won his third HOH, and when Morgan won her third veto, she pressured Vince into renomming his final two Lauren, leaving Lauren, Kelly, and Keanu on the block. Before I dive in, I put a link in the description to my playlist to catch up on my recaps. If you like the content, consider liking, subscribing, and using my link to try Paramount Plus for free. But let's dive into it, starting with our Thursday night tradition.
What's Julie wearing?
Ooh la la.
Exquisite.
Julie's wearing every flower in the patch in a cute spring number just in time for Halloween. Julie looks cute. She knew she was going to be working a double shift today, and maybe she has someone to impress. Back in the house, after the veto meeting, Kelly, Keanu, and Lauren are on the block. Morgan acknowledges that she promised Vince she wouldn't target Lauren, and in DR, she seems down to keep that promise. Ashley's not so sentimental about it. She tells us her goal is to turn on Lauren and vote her out, and Keanu's down too. Vince promises Lauren that she'll be safe. Lauren's upset. She's protected Vince through the whole game, and he's ruined her game all summer. Vince tells Lauren and Morgan that they're his ideal final three. Morgan says of course he would want that, but she wants to ensure Vince can't take Lauren to the final two instead of her. Ava tells Lauren that she sees Vince as a villain and she hates him, saying Vince puts himself in bad situations and then cries about it later. Lauren tells us she's ready to get some revenge on Vinny. We'll see about that. Keanu tells Morgan that he's down to target Lauren, which makes Morgan come back around to getting Lauren out. Ashley and Kelly talk, coming to some understanding where they could have a fair chance against each other in final two. Morgan is disturbed in the night. She springs awake. She's upset that Vince told her if she votes out Lauren, they can't be friends outside of the house. She feels he's protecting Lauren, who wants her out of the house. The conversation between them gets heated. They're arguing and everyone can hear them. Morgan wants Lauren out and is annoyed that Vince isn't becoming okay with it, and Vince is annoyed that she's going against her promise. They're getting nowhere and continuing with their conversation all night long. Lauren is patiently waiting to talk to Vince. Kelly even tells Vince not to keep her waiting, which annoys Morgan. Vince again assures Lauren that she's not going home, but Morgan is still stewing, and now Morgan and Ashley are plotting together against Lauren. Which brings us to the Blockbuster, which is announced by the Mastermind in a competition titled Steal Power Orbs for the Mastermind so he could bring his new layer online. They need to run down and dig in their container, then run up the stairs and drop the ball into their tube. The first player to get 4 balls, or the player with the most balls after 4 minutes, will win their safety. They get started. You can't say Kelly lacks commitment, diving fully under her balls. Lauren gets a lead with her first ball first. Keanu and Kelly high-key suck at this. Lauren eats and leaves no crumbs, getting 4 balls and winning the Blockbuster, while Kelly and Keanu got only 1. Lauren deserved a W after the week she's had. Lauren comes back skipping, and Julie tells the group she won the competition. Vince is relieved and emotional. His nightmare isn't coming true. Well, he'll be single when he gets home, but Lauren's staying. They don't give them time to strategize and get to speeches. Kelly says no hard feelings, do what's best for you. Keanu says the Block Party Alliance is getting split up and offers himself as a shield to the others. In the votes, Ava and Lauren vote to evict Keanu, and Morgan and Ashley vote to evict Kelly, which means there's a tie, a rare thrill, and Julie tells Vince he has to break the tie. He stands up there, saying he's gonna have to deal with the repercussions, and votes to evict Kelly. On the way out, Kelly announces that Vince had deals with her and her allies, and had hands in voting all of his allies out, and that for the rest of the season, he's gonna do what Morgan wants. When she leaves, the Mastermind comes back, telling them it's double eviction night, and it's all gonna be about the Mastermind. And Julie tells them the Blockbuster's over. There will only be 2 nominees moving forward. Kelly's interview is fun. She's got the audience eating her up. She says she was evicted because Morgan gets everything she wants, and she knows part of the reason is because she's irritating. So we lose Kelly here, who I had little hope for preseason. She said in her interviews she wouldn't be good at competitions, but she ended up being great at Blockbusters, and won competitions that saved her from eviction in the first few weeks when she was a target, which caused a lot of Thursday night chaos in the process. As a character, she was a silly figure, doing random things, often being a bit nasty and mean to others, which was, in my opinion, fun. She'll be remembered for volunteering to go on the block, which at the time seemed really stupid, but she didn't go home when she volunteered, and for her weird behavior and hiding bugs. She never really finds her footing in the game and latches on to whoever's at the bottom, and through that is just a bottom feeder, scavenging for crumbs of strategy wherever she could find them, and for the most part was left out of the edit of the show. Even on her final week, she's barely on the program, so I'm glad she's out here, as she should have been an early boot, and I'm glad she's not filling space in a finalist spot. Players head to their HOH comp, Wretched Reactor. They need to roll orbs up their ramp to get them onto the reactor zone. The first player to land 5 orbs in the zone wins the HOH. They get started. Ashley, Morgan, and Keanu get to a lead, and Morgan's gamer ways come in handy as she quickly gets the feel of it and wins the HOH. After some strategizing, Morgan nominates Keanu and Lauren. No one is surprised. Getting to the veto comp, Master Find. Apparently the government has captured footage of the Mastermind in the house, and they need to find him. The player with the most correct answers at the end will win. Finding the Mastermind is so easy. I'm actually shocked when Ava gets a really easy one wrong. It comes down to a tie between Morgan and Keanu. They're asked how long in seconds the wall comp was. Morgan acts frazzled and guesses 120 seconds, 2 minutes minutes for the wall comp. In my opinion, she clearly threw this to Keanu. She's even happy when Julie announces that Keanu won. At the veto meeting, Keanu saves himself with the veto, and Morgan replaces him with Ava. In their speeches, Ava gets emotional about being on the block with her friend and number one ally, and Lauren seems to be saying goodbye. In the votes, Vince votes to evict Ava, but Ashley and Keanu evict Lauren, so Lauren is evicted by a vote of 2-1. Morgan consoles Vince with his love language, physical touch. Lauren's interview is pleasant. She gives Morgan props for getting her out and says Morgan could win the game. On Vince, she has no hard feelings, but I'm not buying it. Julie struggles to get answers out of Lauren, but we survive the interview. And we lose Lauren here, who had so much potential in general. She starts the game off being so indecisive, even about the first vote, and is so frustratingly indecisive about everything. There was a time when she was in such a good spot, so many allies. She was close with Jimmy, Riley, Catherine, Zach, Vince. They had the Bond alliance that included Will, Adrian, Ava, and while she gets so much crap for being indecisive, her game also suffers from the decision she did make. On her HOH, nominating Adrian and Will, breaking up the Bond alliance that they just made no sense at all. That alliance could have run the game. And when she saved Vince with the veto, in a spot where Vince wasn't even the target, she effed around and found out. And there's a direct chain of events from her saving Vince with that veto that leads to the rest of her allies going home and to Vince nominating her and then her own eviction. I thought she was going to start doing stuff, but never did. She didn't put any effort into getting to know half the players in the house and didn't bring any entertainment to the show. With all that said, she's kind of likable. And while I think she's an awful reality TV casting choice, I think at home in her job as a bridal consultant, she's probably amazing to work with. She's not on my wish list of people I'd like to see again in the near term, but maybe a challenge appearance. And also in a few years, if she becomes a bit more experienced in life, I could get an appetite for a 30-year-old, more mature and confident Lauren reappearing for another shot. Julie then brings out the unlocked guest, director James Gunn. This is a huge guest. He says he was a Lauren fan and he likes Keanu. He doesn't like Vince. Julie is flirting with James Gunn and will be doodling Julie Chen Gunn with hearts on her cards in the Uber home. She even tells James Gunn she's available in 2 weeks and says a man of tomorrow needs a woman of tomorrow, even showing him her sexy BB comic. I ship these two, not gonna lie. This was a great double eviction episode, and the amount of time that the 2 hours gave them to flesh out the events of the week even more proves that Thursday night episodes should be 90 minutes. With Kelly and Lauren out of the game, we're left with 5 of the more active players, so I'm excited to see where this goes. But that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the double eviction. If you like this video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back later tonight with my week 10 player rankings. Until then, you know where to find me. Bye.